Hey everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. On today's episode of Cooking with P, we're going to be making one of my personal favorites, which is a loaded baked potato soup. Chef's kiss. Now I have tried a couple of different recipes and variations, but today we are going to go with half-baked harvest recipe that you can find on her website. I will be sure to link it for you guys. But trust me, this has been one of my absolute favorite soups to make. And I'm definitely one of those people that could be scorching hot outside in the middle of summer. You can bet yourself I will be making some soup at home. So go ahead and throw on your apron and let's get cooking. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and prep all of my ingredients. That way, once I start cooking, I don't have to worry about measuring anything or cutting anything up. It's all ready. Now, another thing I love about soup is it's a one-pot dish. Throw everything in there and you're good to go. So the recipe does call for russet potatoes, but I have a whole bunch of little baby Yukon potatoes, so we're gonna use that. Cumin, paprika, chili powder, pink Himalayan salt, 1 jalapeno. Recipe calls for a whole cup of milk, but I'm going to be using heavy cream. Garlic cloves, but I'm using minced. Half an onion. Sour cream. Salsa verde. Some bacon. And some good old chicken broth. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut and de-seed 1 jalapeno. If you like spice and you can tolerate spice, you can go ahead and leave the seeds in, but I will be keeping them out of the soup today. All right, now that we have them de-seeded, we're gonna go ahead and cut them. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut up half an onion. All right, so I actually ended up doing 1/4 of an onion instead of half, and I feel like this is a pretty good amount, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it as is. And one cool little trick I've learned is whenever you need your cutting board to hold still, just go ahead and grab a wet paper towel and put it right under, and it'll stay a lot better as you're cutting. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do 1 cup of heavy cream. And I'm just going to measure it out now and leave it in the fridge until it's ready to be used. We're also going to do 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to go ahead and start with 1 cup because the last time I made this soup, it did come out a little bit too soupy instead of creamy how I like it. So we're going to start with 1 cup first. All right, now we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. It's a little bit more, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and do, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. And then we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. All right, now that we have all the potatoes peeled, we're gonna go ahead and cut them. I'd say probably just in half. Since they're already pretty small, you don't need to cut them any smaller, so we're just gonna cut all of these now. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and cut our bacon into little slices so we can go ahead and throw that into the pot. All right, now that we're done prepping all of our ingredients, The first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is throw the bacon into a pot over medium heat. You're gonna cook the bacon for about 6 to 8 minutes or until it gets crispy enough. All right, so now that the bacon is cooked, I went ahead and put it on a paper plate with some napkins so we can get some of that additional grease off of it. I did leave the bacon grease in the pot so my onions can go ahead and cook in it. And then 2 to 3 minutes, or once they start to smell very fragrant, you'll go ahead and add your jalapeno, garlic, and our spices from earlier, along with pink Himalayan salt and black pepper. You're gonna let that cook for about a minute or two, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. So I went ahead and put in the jalapeno and the seasonings. I let it cook for about a minute, and the next thing I did was add 2.5 cups of chicken broth along with our potatoes and brought it up to a boil. Now that it's up to a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on medium heat and let the potatoes cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll see you guys then. All right guys, so it's time to check on our potatoes. I was joking earlier when I said 10 to 15 minutes. We definitely want to let these cook for about 20 to 30 minutes. So they should be soft enough to where you can just go ahead and start mashing them. Oh yeah. And you can mash them as tiny or small as you would like. Now me personally, I do like my soup a little chunky. I have seen some recipes where people take the potatoes out and blend it, make it kind of into a puree. That would be really good too, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stick to the little chunky bits. All right guys, so now that our potatoes have been mashed up, we're gonna add the last of our ingredients, which is gonna be a 1/3 cup of salsa verde, 1 cup of heavy cream, and we're actually gonna be doing 1/2 cup of sour cream, or you can do 1/2 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. You're gonna go ahead and add all of that to the pot and let it stir for about 5 minutes until it's warmed through enough. Once the 5 minutes have passed, you're gonna go ahead and add any kind of cheese that you want. The recipe did call for cheddar, but unfortunately pizza blend is all that we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle as much in, probably a handful or so. And then we'll be ready to plate. All right guys, guys, so now that it's been simmering for about 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and do a quick taste test. Now, I did actually do a taste test right before, and I ended up adding about a tablespoon of chicken bouillon and a little bit more pink Himalayan salt. And we just let it simmer, let those flavors sink in for a little bit, and it should be ready to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and add about a fistful of our cheese. And sprinkle that in, don't be shy. You can add as little or as much cheese as you would like. Now I love cheese. Cheese and potatoes are my two favorite things in the world. So I'm gonna have my favorite dish tonight. So now that we added our cheese, I like to add the bacon in with the soup and serve it that way. But I'm gonna reserve some crumbs for the topping just for picture purposes. So I'd say throw in the majority of your bacon in here. Then you're gonna go ahead and give her a mix. And at this point, you guys can go ahead and either turn the heat onto very low, or you can go ahead and turn it off. The final ingredient is gonna be some cilantro. We're gonna go ahead and take this off the heat. Cut up our cilantro and put it in. All right, so I just went ahead and chopped up about a palmful of cilantro, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it into my pot. And I don't think I'm gonna use it all because again, I'm gonna leave some for garnish at the very end. So I'd say about that much. And then just mix it in real good. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. Oh, it smells absolutely divine. All right, and now comes the best part. We're gonna go ahead and serve this into our bowl. Oh yeah. All right, everybody, so finally the moment we've been waiting for. We went ahead and plated our soup, and look at how delicious this looks. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to eat it. All right, so let's go ahead and take the first bite and try it. Make sure you blow on it because I'm sure it's gonna be really hot. Oh my God, that is so good. I'm telling you, the spices at the beginning and the salsa verde really give it that extra flavor and kick. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is definitely, like I said, one of my favorite recipes, one of my favorite soup recipes. So I hope you guys have as much fun as I did making it. And like always, I'm super excited to see you guys try the recipe. So make sure you guys tag me, comment, like, follow, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time on Cooking with P.